The Ashen Knights are a chapter founded during the Age of Apostasy, with strong ties to the Raven Guard, due to the paleness of their skin and the pigment of their eyes, although their parent legion is yet to be determined. The chapter is loosely Codex compliant, but their company is broken into brotherhoods. There are 3 brotherhoods in total, each the equivalent of 2 companies, save for the 3rd brotherhood, as it is the smallest of the companies, numbering the chapter in the lower 500s. Each brotherhood is commanded by a Lord Marshal, with a command staff consisting of a chaplain known as an Ashbearer and a veteran sergeant. Chaplains play a pivotal role within the chapter, as the Ashen Knights are a pious and deeply devoted chapter. When a brother dies, their bodies are cremated and their ashes collected. During sermons given by their chaplains or times of ceremony during a promotion or the raising of an aspirant from scout to brother, these ashes are sprinkled onto the heads and shoulders of the recipient. The chapter has no singular master, and instead rely on the Brazier Council. The council consists of the Lord Marshals of the 1st and 3rd Brotherhood, for they are the oldest living members of the chapter, and contain the most veteran members. The Reclusiarch, known as the Lord of Cinder, and the head of the Librarius, known as the Flamecaller. Their armour bears the resemblance of undisturbed ash with onyx accents. The icon of the chapter is a black burning brazier with a single crimson sword rising from it. The chapter as a whole wear the older Mark III Iron Power Armour and Mark IV Maximus Power Armour. The armour's looks only add to the singular menacing trait that has been remarked upon from other Space Marine chapters and Imperial Guard regiments that have fought alongside them. The warriors of the Ashen Knights are completely silent on the battlefield. Only the chaplains and sergeants or marshals are permitted to speak. Because of this, extensive updates and innovations have been made to the internal Vox network of each brother's armour to allow them to communicate properly through room displays and a complex amalgam of sign language and combat signs. Their extreme dedication to silence whilst fighting can be unnerving when fighting with or against the Ashen. Any enemy fighting against this chapter will be unsettled, as even when killing a brother Space Marine provokes no gasp of pain or snarl of hatred. The chapter are brutal in close combat, preferring swords and flamers, along with shock tactics, striking quickly and amidst the unsuspecting foe. Because of this, the chapter has an extensive armoury of well-crafted blades and shields. They shy away from chain weapons as they detest the roaring they emit. Each brother is a master of the sword, honing their skills daily and taking pride in creating of their own sword and developing a personalised style of fighting. As part of the neophyte stage of training, each aspirant is expected to forge themselves a blade and develop a fighting style best suited to them. When they are elevated to the rank of an Astartes, their blade is kept in lieu of a combat knife. A new blade is made and the training adapted to a new sword or axe. The chapter itself has no homeworld, and instead recruit from various worlds. Their gene seed pales the skin and darkens the eyes of the Astartes, much like that of the Raven Guard. However, the chapter has no knowledge of who their founding legion or chapter are, and therefore venerate the Emperor as being their sole progenitor. Their reverence to depictions of his flaming sword evident by the chapter's traditions and core values. The chapter played a large role in the Amaroth Crusade, a half-century-long crusade through the Amaroth Cluster, where a splinter fleet of Chaos forces fell upon the cardinal worlds of largely undefended systems. The attack came as a surprise to the Imperium, as it was a system closer to the core worlds. The Ashen Knights were the first to respond, but suffered greatly, having lost 2 brotherhoods as well as a large portion of their librarians and fleet. Though deathly silent, the chapter shows an unnatural compassion to the citizens of the Imperium, willing to suffer gross casualties for the protection of the Emperor's subjects. Though unpossessing of a fatalistic nature, one of the pillars of the chapter's belief is that they were created to protect the Emperor's realm, and that their lives are forfeit for the betterment of mankind.